Welcome to the Unapologetic podcast with Kaitlyn Talamante, hosted by LadyBoss. This is the space where women rise, own their power, and stop playing small. We get real, we get raw, and we get fired up about confidence, health, business, and life. If you're ready to step into who God made you to be and unapologetically live your best life, then girl, you are in the right place. Let's do this. Welcome to the Unapologetic podcast with Kaitlyn Talamante, hosted by LadyBoss. This is the space where women rise, own their power, and stop playing small. We get real, we get raw, and we get fired up about confidence, health, business, and life. If you're ready to step into who God made you to be and unapologetically live your best life, then girl, you are in the right place. Let's do this.
This is what unapologetic looks like.
This is my era. I'm walking boldly in my purpose. I'm done dimming my light.
I'm done playing small. God didn't create me to blend in. I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. The old me was surviving. The new me is free.
We rise together.
Here's to living life unapologetically.
Hey ladies, and welcome back to another episode of Unapologetic, the podcast where we dive into the raw, real stories behind bold transformations. Today, I have the honor of sitting down with an OG lady boss, someone who truly embodies what it means to rise up from the inside out. Miss Lori Henderson. Lori's journey started inside the community back in, 2017. And what started to be a mission to lose weight turned into something so much deeper. The discovery of self-confidence, love, and a fire that would eventually lead her into the world of bodybuilding. If you've not seen her images there, you're going to need to go stalk her and go check it out. But we'll dive into that. And then, of course, professional coaching as well. So in this episode, we're going to talk about what it really takes to move forward when you're feeling stuck and how to build unshakable belief in yourself. But also, this is the Unapologetic podcast. So we're going to dive into who knows what today. We've got a lot in store. You ladies ready? Let's dive in. How are you doing today, Lori?
I am absolutely fantastic. I'm so excited to be here with you. But I mean, via the Lady Boss community, I'm just excited anytime that we get to interact in any capacity because I just feel like our energies vibe in such similar ways that I'm here for it all the time. So I'm so excited to be here. I can't even express that. It's also very exciting to just be on the unapologetic version of the podcast because that relaunch and the shift to unapologetic has really kind of been the journey in my life for 2025. And it's kind of evolved into some things that I never would have anticipated with where I'm at right now. It's like, whoa.
It's kind of liberating, isn't it?
I'm still kind of in that I can't believe this is real phase. And then I'm sure that like just liberating phase is coming soon. But I feel very at peace and just like this is where I'm meant to be right now. Like, because it has worked out that way. I'll share that story here shortly. I don't want to get into it yet.
Okay, now I'm dying. I'm like, okay, you got to elaborate a little bit. So
I know, but that's not where it started though. So that's the fun part.
So let's take it back to 2017 when Lori decided to dive into LadyBoss. What was going on?
So I spent about the past 10 years being a teacher. So I was a teacher. So I was off in the summers. I'm now 12 months in the world of public education. So I don't get that summer break anymore, but it was a summer break. And I had spent the past several summers just kind of basically being a professional couch potato. If you need to know how to be a couch potato, I 100% know how to do that. And I can find reasons for you to do that because I spent so much of my life doing that. And that was taking up like my whole summer. I was doing nothing. And I know it said a lot in the community, but just I was sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. And I really just hated myself. I hated who I was. I hated what I was doing. And I said, something has to be out there. I have to try something. I don't know what else to do. And so a Google search led me to LadyBoss, which of course the name itself is intriguing enough to click on, but then just seeing the mission and that it was, yeah, like let's lose weight, but also like let's, learn to fix our relationship with ourselves. And I was just like, well, okay. Way back, it started out with, hey, there's just 7-day trial, just try it out. And I was like, okay, well, I can try something for a week. And if I don't do anything, then this isn't for me. I'll try something else. But very quickly, I was just hooked, and the community and just everything that Lady Boss offers. And it kind of sparked a journey to overall across time lose about 50 pounds, though I want to say really more about 40 comfortably, that 50 when you're getting on a bodybuilding stage. Okay, technically I can say I did that, but that's a little bit of a stretch, I feel like. So, but even, yeah, I know we're going to chat about that because that has really become a passion of mine, and not even just the being on stage side. But aside from just the weight loss, everything that Lady Boss has taught me has really just been a work on a journey with my relationship with myself and building the confidence and learning how to love myself. And that took several years to get to, several years to kind of correct the steps I was taking, fix how I was talking to myself was a huge thing. And sometimes I still struggle a little bit with that, but at least I have that skill set now to be able to say, okay, hang on, stop. Like, you don't talk to yourself that way. Because one, if you're internalizing it, you're going to start externalizing it at other people. And that's not who I am. But just really learning how to love myself and the confidence to just close your eyes and take a leap of faith that you're going to land where you're supposed to. That has really been the best thing I can say that came out of my journey, that started with, I just don't want to be a couch potato and I need to lose this weight because the scale just keeps going up and up and up and up. And I'm not going to be like this. I'm not going to do it. And I got so much more out of it, because I'll even confidently say all of the weight I've lost, I've gained it all back. I am at my starting weight right now.
Mhm.
And I don't care. Like, yeah, sure, I want to get some habits back in check, but they got unchecked because there were other priorities in my life. And I needed to put some things on pause because that's what needed to happen. And
I love that you shared that part right there. That is part of my story. Is I joined with Lady Boss in 2019 and I lost 65 pounds and I gained it all back with the chaos of the world in 2022 and probably even before that. And I didn't notice. I didn't even notice I had actually gained it all back because I had done so much work on my mindset that even though I did gain it back, I confidently loved who I was still. I didn't nitpick at my body like I did prior. Like,
I still struggle with the nitpicking. There are times where I'm like, or man, this shirt just doesn't fit the way it used to fit, or I'm down to only one pair of jeans that I can kind of comfortably wear. I'll nitpick a little bit just to be totally transparent. But I also remind myself, well, hey, you've done it before, you can do it again. But also remember why you're in the position you're in. A couple of years ago, I decided to go back to school to get a postmaster's certificate program in education administration. And between doing 2 graduate classes and an internship, plus still working full time in the classroom and the leadership roles I had at that school,
crazy.
I'm also married, and my relationship with my husband is super important too. But it very much was like, I have this new thing I'm putting on my plate. Something has to go. And it was, you don't have an hour or an hour and a half to spend at the gym every day anymore, or 5 days a week anymore. You don't have that, because you're going to be spending so much time on your school stuff that is your gym time. And so it's like, you can pick gym, your relationship, and school. You're only going to do well at 2 of these. It was an easy choice, but there was still a very conscious choice to make. And so kind of setting everything aside with my fitness journey led me to really propel that mindset and the confidence and things like that to really focus on the areas of my life that were important. And now that I'm not in school and things are a little bit more settled, with having completely uprooted our whole life and going to a whole new area of the state, slowly getting that fitness back on the plate to balance it all out.
Yeah, you've had a lot of changes this year. And I guess if I look back at mine, like I definitely nitpicked as well my body and whatnot, and struggled. But I mean, that confidence piece, because you talked about like how you consciously made the choice to prioritize what you needed to prioritize, even if it had the consequences of putting the weight back on, right? Like that's not where you were at in that season. Like you wanted to prioritize your career and your family and all these things that are huge pieces, huge components and important pieces of life, and especially with where you were at, right? And so there was that sacrifice, and there I'm sure there's hard times in between, but you still were able to like look and be like, but I'm choosing this. It's in my control. When it's time to get back to the gym, I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to get back to it. I still love me. I still love the path I'm on. I still love the life, or I'm still the confident woman I've worked so hard to become.
Exactly.
So beautiful.
And that definitely doesn't mean that there's not a balance and a way to have your cake and eat it too. I just, I was doing what essentially is meant to be a 2-year program in 1 year. So I knew it was going to take a whole lot. So I don't want anyone listening to think that, oh, well, if I try to do too much, something's going to have to give. And it's like, no, there's a way you can balance it all. You have to know what you're trying to do and also know where you need to find that balance, because while I say my fitness came off of my plate, I was still getting movement in. I was still doing some workouts, but I was not bodybuilding lifestyle kind of lifting in the off season. Like that had to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a whole other level of lifting for sure. So confidence.
Don't mind me. It's a hydrate break.
Yeah, there used to be a time where like I can't pull up my water while I'm talking to someone, but it's who we are. We're LadyBoss is like we need our water, and so hydrate, please. But okay, so
I extra have to hydrate because I'm on this no energy drink November. So it's making me drink so much more water. So I'm like, oh, I have to get some water.
Okay, I'm not an energy drink girly. I am a caffeine girly, so I couldn't imagine like giving up my caffeine for November. But energy drinks, I already go a mile a minute. So on energy drinks, you're going a mile a minute without energy drinks right now. You don't need an energy drink.
I'm feeling good. 11 days in, I'm feeling good. But I tell you, it's going from 2 to 3 a day to.
Did you have headaches?
I'm feeling so great. But I don't know if it was completely that, or I also had started this antibiotic as well. So and it mentioned headaches. So I was like, I don't know, all of the above, but just a couple of days. Didn't notice too much.
Good. So confidence is something that I hear a lot of women they want and tend to think like, okay, if I lose weight, then I'll get my confidence. Tell me what your thoughts are on that perspective.
It's true too. And I think for some people, it can be true in some elements, especially if you've got, case in point, I'd get up and go grab it, but I can't. But I was gifted this gorgeous red dress. Oh my gosh. And it's just a little too snug. But I think for some of the people where it's just like, oh, I used to have this thing that I loved wearing and I just can't wear it now, but it's still in the back of the closet waiting on me. I think when you lose the weight, or really it's not even weight at that point, it's just kind of if you get your body fat percentage in a different place and your body composition different, and you get back into what you used to love to wear, it can help with that confidence piece. But if you're kind of starting from scratch, I'm not gonna lie, I'm in a phase right now where I love me some sweatpants life, and those are the kind of things that you're not going to notice them fitting any differently kind of thing. At least for me. So it's that piece I don't have it. I do look forward to being able to get into this red dress. It's just like, technically I just need just a little bit of it to give. So it's like, it's coming. So I think there's an element there, but really I think the journey with starting to be confident is you have to build a rapport with yourself. And I really do struggle with this, even now, because it really comes down to how do you build rapport in a relationship with other people, especially professionally. You hold yourself accountable. You do the things you said you were going to do. If you say, yeah, I'm going to do this for you, or I'll send you this, or yeah, let's follow up about this, you do the things. Mm-hmm. So when you make all these promises to yourself, I'm going to go for a walk today, or I'm going to work out in the morning, or I'm going to definitely drink this many bottles of water. You've got to follow through with it and do the things you said you were going to do for yourself. And I know I say that like it's the easiest thing in the world. I fall short of that so many times every day. And that's where I really just kind of was like, okay, well, you know what? You've had a lot of big adjustments. Let's start small. Can you do no energy drinks for November? Can you do it? And so I'm so happy to say that it's 11/11 today. So I'm 11 days in, and I've held to that. And I have just felt so much better because it's like, hey, like you made a commitment to yourself and you're following through with it. So really you want to follow through with it yourself so you can build that rapport to say, hey, like Lori, she's going to show up and do the things she needs to do for herself. But you got to start in a manageable place with that. Don't go too big. Or you'll set yourself up for disappointment. That's my problem. I go too big where it's like, okay, you're going to get a gallon of water and you're going to work out for an hour and you're going to stretch and you're going to go for a walk and you're going to eat like 5 meals a day. well, then it turns into, well, it's all or nothing. Great. I
Yep.
set myself up for that.
Yes.
And that's part of who I am. So it's like, all right, we'll start small. But really the other piece that I think everybody can have resonate with them is like, fix how you're talking to yourself. And I definitely use the word fix intentionally because it doesn't matter who you are or where you are on your journey. There is some moment that you are not talking to yourself in the way that you should be talking to yourself. And so having that opportunity to say, okay, whoa, pump the brakes. I need to fix that thought, reframe it, rephrase it, something. I really, really, I have been tuning in this week after hearing that episode on the podcast. I think it was episode 2, if anyone needs to listen to that, with Hillary.
Yeah.
That's been my like, since listening to that all week long, I'm tuning in. So it's like, all right, hang on. You are thinking things you don't need to be thinking. So it's like, all right, because I kind of skip the what's the challenge part, because sometimes it's like, just fix what you need to say, or you need to get out of that headspace. And it's like, all right, what's that song for 20 seconds? And then I move forward. And it's so instantaneous. So that's my new strategy on how do I fix whatever that thought is or reframe it. I'm looking forward to kind of learning a little bit more about that too, because that's the first I've ever heard of it or heard of her. So I'm so excited about that connection.
So happy you loved hearing from Hillary. I love Hillary's tune-in method. It is an incredible tool to have. And thank you for sharing it. It starts, like you said, with being aware of what we're saying to ourselves. And once we're aware of it, we're able to stop it and nip it in the butt. And you're using the tune-in process to nip it in the butt, which is amazing. I want to make sure the ladies that are listening, like, I want to take this a step further. It's not just the thoughts that you have about yourself. Our brains have, I don't even know the number, I don't have it in front of me, but we have hundreds of thousands of thoughts that go through our minds every day. Thoughts we're aware of, thoughts we aren't aware of. But the more aware we become of our thoughts, the less power they have, the more control we have of them. And like, I even know, like, driving down the road, I could look off and see a pile of trash and make an assumption that is negative. This is just an example, ladies, but like, we are all guilty of driving down the road and making some sort of judgment.
Insert any thought about another driver here. We are all guilty of that.
But we don't know what they're going through. It's not our place to judge. It's not our place to think negative. And if we're thinking negative instantly about other people from the outside, we're definitely thinking negatively about ourselves. And so not just being aware about the comments or the thoughts you're having about yourself, but even the world around you. You start having a negative thought about the homeless guy standing on the corner with the sign. Change it around, reframe it, tune in. We don't know his story. We don't know what he's going through. Let's have heart and gratitude and show compassion and empathy versus whatever negative you might have been thinking. But when you're aware of that, when you start seeing it, I've used TuneIn. I love TuneIn, but I just learned that process earlier this year. Prior to TuneIn, I prayed. I was like, Lord, cast this thought away. Like, help me have another perspective, because I didn't want to have those thoughts, but they were something that was a natural thought that was happening because I had gotten stuck, I guess, in the negativity of the world without realizing I got stuck in the negativity. And I was like, I don't want that. I want to share my light. And I can't share my light if I'm having those negative thoughts about myself or someone else I don't even know.
And I have to emphasize that we are not saying that we do not have these moments every day right now.
It's a constant.
I started LadyBoss in 2017, 2025, that many years later. I am still working on how I speak to myself. I'm still working on how I'm viewing the world around me, but it's really just increasing your awareness of it moment by moment. Okay, oh, this is a moment I can increase my skill set at fixing how I'm internalizing my dialogue.
And you mentioned something earlier too about like the rapport you have with yourself. We're human. Things happen. It is a constant to work on that rapport and working on your thoughts. But we're human and things come out of our mouths because we talk faster than we think a lot of times, and there might be regrets. And I just want to challenge you to, like, don't take that as a learning moment of like, my word, I never want that to happen again, and walk through the rapport with yourself. Like, what happened in that situation? How should it have happened? So next time if you're ever in that position again, whether with yourself or with someone else, you can show up as a person you're proud of versus the one that put her foot in her mouth. And as I say, I'm talking about myself because I'll put my foot in the mouth. And you can show up being aware, ready, because you built that rapport. You built that confidence. You know how that person's going to handle it in the future. That person being you.
Exactly, because how we show up is going to trigger a response in other people. For that piece with just yourself, how you show up when you're getting ready and you're staring yourself in the mirror, that's going to trigger that response right back in yourself. And so it takes practice. It takes some efforting, but it's a skill set that can be learned and can be done. And not only with just how you're talking to yourself, but also just like make a commitment to yourself and see what happens. I know after joining LadyBoss, one of the first commitments that had nothing to do with LadyBoss, that kind of the building the confidence, working through the boss method and the things like that, and all of those different pieces that come together, because state of mind is a huge part of it. Sure, you get your water, sure, you do your movement, but your state of mind really drives so much of the other stuff and making sure you're spreading that sparkle in the world. But I sat on my master's degree application for almost 3 years, not submitting it. I was scared. I was constantly, I'm not good enough. They're not going to let you in anyway. I'm not ready for this. Just all of the thoughts that you could possibly have. At 3 years, I sat on not doing it. I hadn't even finished my bachelor's and I knew what master's program I wanted to do. And then I sat on it for 3 years. I even took the GRE because I needed the GRE to get in if I didn't have 3 years of teaching experience. I sat on that application for so long, I didn't even need my GRE scores anymore because I had the teaching experience to replace it. And joining LadyBoss really gave me the confidence to finally just submit the application. And it's funny because like my husband had known I wanted to do this program eventually. He came home from work one day and I was like, oh, hey, I submitted my grad school application. He's like, wait, what? And I was like, I know we probably should have talked about it, but I'm not going to lie. If I didn't just go ahead and do it, because I finally was just like, you know what? You just need to do it.
You kind of
Click.
you felt the fire.
He was like, I figured we would have talked about it. I was like, I know, but I had to just do it. Otherwise, I would have not. And I was like, I have been not submitting this for 3 years. And who knows how long it would have been if I would have just faltered in that moment.
I didn't know that, Lori. That is crazy. I'm so glad you finally hit submit. But can I just ask everyone here, like, you were so scared that you wouldn't get in and all the things, but what happened once you hit submit?
Well, I got through the program.
You got in? You got in the program?
I got in, did the program. It wasn't a complete start to stop finish of the program. Life kind of got in the way a little bit there, but I did come back. I did finish it. I still talk with my graduate program advisor from time to time, but did finish that program. Should have immediately started my doctorate program after that. I only say that because I finished in 2020 when everything was in virtual land. And I'm like, man, if I would have just started a doctorate somewhere, anywhere in the world, they would have let me finish virtually, even if everything did go back. So that's one of my like small things of like, man, if only.
Yes.
But
if only.
which, no big deal. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. That's not part of my journey I'm looking at right now professionally. Just settling in. But 2020 was actually a really good time for me. It was not perfect. There were a lot of things happening, but it was a lot of, well, one way or the other, this is gonna settle. And that was actually when I took the plunge to get into bodybuilding, because I had too much time to think and too much time to just randomly Google stuff. And it's really funny because it wasn't even about doing a show. It was just like, I mean, I really like working out and like fitness. And my coach at the time had done bodybuilding shows. So it was kind of like, well, I know this exists. So I just started randomly looking, and I remember showing my husband like random suits and stuff like that. I was like, oh my God, do you know people spend this much money on their suits? Like, what in the world? You do not have to spend a fortune on a suit. You absolutely can, but you do not have to. They're amazing.
I'm just curious.
Awesome, affordable suits.
There's not a whole lot of material to them. So like, what are we talking for a suit?
Thousands of dollars. It is. And I was like, this is great. And that's just the suit. But what really made my decision for, I think I want to do this, was really, I kind of just want a pair of sparkly heels. Like, I just want some shoes.
The shoes with the driver.
The shoes were the driver. The love and the confidence of just working out and who I was. And I was just like, okay, because talk about a moment of just, oh man, you're in this tiny suit, which is necessary to show the physique and the muscles in certain ways. It's very much man, I'm about to step in front of an audience of, I don't know, literally a table of judges that are staring at me head to toe of every muscle, glute, everything. Like, I was like, who are these people? I have no idea. I would have never been able to do that if I wouldn't have really worked on that relationship with myself and just built that confidence of just working on how I was talking to myself. A big savior moment, because if you're someone that's like, well, maybe I want to do that one day, a big thought I always have is like, well, sure, you're up there in the tiny bikini. So is everybody else. Everybody else is wearing the exact same thing. It's just different colors, crystal patterns, all that stuff. That's what's different. But everybody's in the same outfit. So you're not alone. Like, don't worry.
You're not just looking at just you. They're looking at everyone there. You're not alone. I like that.
Correct.
It's like, when you're on stage speaking, like imagine everyone in your underwear. Like, I don't know about that one.
Well, and that's where it's really just grown for me, where being on stage is fun, sure, but I loved my first show experience so much that I try to help out at shows any opportunity I can. I'm actually going to be helping out at a show that's more local to me, having moved in a couple of weeks, but I just love helping and making sure others have an amazing experience. And having spent almost 5 years, I cannot believe it's been almost 5 years since my first show in December 2020. I cannot believe it, but I've been helping out at random shows since. But the journeys that some people take to get to the stage, there are people that they'll do a show just because it's like, I lost 100 pounds and I just wanted to get on this stage and show that off. And it's like, that is phenomenal. The 60 plus women classes usually are just astounding to me. And it's just, my whole life is you never really think of someone being in the best shape you've ever seen in your whole life being kind of in that age category. But it's just, it is astounding, the things that people accomplish, the reasons they're on stage. Some people are there to compete. Some people were there because they were competing against themselves on their journey, and this is like their moment. It's kind of very similar to that. See, I'm going to keep referencing all of the other unapologetic episodes because I'm loving it so much, but it's not all that different from, having that boudoir photography session. Like, if that's your moment, some people step on the stage because that's their moment.
Yes, that's their stage. And it's so powering when you're there. I was going to ask, like, what it feel like to be on that stage, like knowing who you were when you started and what it took to get there. But like, I think you just answered it with that, is like exhilarating feeling, that excitement, that kind of full circle. Like, I did this. I'm beautiful. Like, you already knew you were beautiful and confident, right? You better have before you walked on that stage.
Yes,
like
yeah.
Towards that. But it's like when you look at the back of that camera and you're like, that's me. That's not me. Like, what? Like, yeah, Lori did
No,
that.
exactly. It's incredible. And then everybody that's there with you has that same energy as well. It's really just phenomenal. And that's really one reason I love just helping out and working at shows in whatever capacity, because just elevating the experience for all of the athletes, but elevating it for the audience that's there to support and cheer as well. It just brings so much joy to my heart, and I always look forward to it. Like, I'm already ready for May next year and going back to Baltimore for the Conqueror, because that show is just top tier.
Are you going
And
as
then,
like a contestant? Are you going to enter the show? So you were working on your
I'm working. I'm ready. Like, let's go. I'm already ready for like 2027 May Baltimore. Like, I'm ready. Like, it's such a great time. I finished helping at one show, and it's not that I'm ready for the next. It's like, I'm ready for that next show. Like, okay, great. We made it through this one. How can I help make the next show even better? So
I've got to ask, like, because you're competing against, when you're in a class, you're competing against the other women or men, or depending in the class that you're in, right? But what's the camaraderie like? Like, does it feel, once you're off stage, does it feel competitive, or there's a lot of camaraderie there?
So I'll be fully transparent. I think a lot of that really comes down to what organization you compete in. Some are a little bit more competitive vibes. From what I've heard, I have not experienced any of that. All of my experiences have been with OCB, which is a natural drug tested federation for bodybuilding. And there's a competitive spirit, but there is so much, it's all just, I have to go back to growing up with all the T-ball where it's like, good game, good game, good game, good game. And just that, it honestly always just felt so disingenuous to me, where it's like, I have to do our good game stuff again. And it's like, so structured routine. So, but it's that element of just like, no, like, we're competing, but we're a family. And especially my favorite part is just going to pro shows, because the pro athletes usually all know each other too, because they're usually competing on the same circuits. So like, they know each other. They're friends off stage. And so OCB is really genuinely just, it's a family. There's so many moments where even just waiting to hear who the winner is, that the women or men, they'll be backstage kind of like holding hands, like we got each other, we know it's somebody, but like we're here supporting each other, we're celebrating each other, we're celebrating ourselves, like all of the above. It's really hard to describe it in words.
It's awesome. That's good to hear. I mean, I know like it can depend on the organization, but to hear that, the organization you're involved in is awesome like that. Like that just only helps, right? Like you continue on.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
you mentioned earlier that you couldn't dive into it yet, and so I'm gonna pry. What's been going on with Lori this year? Like, you said there's a lot of exciting things coming up, but life's been wild.
So I mentioned when I had to stop fitness to go back to that 1-year postmaster certificate program for administration. So I kind of started that because I didn't know what was next for me, but I'm very much someone that's like, I always want to be growing, improving as a person, learning more. It's just kind of who I am as well. So I was like, well, not that I wanted to like leave the classroom, but I was ready to really increase the impact I was making in the world of education. And so I didn't know what was next, but I said, well, everything that might be next says you should go get this certificate. Like, at least get that. You can check that box, see what happens. And prior to that, one of my professors I had when I got my master's, we got to sit and have a conversation, just kind of catch up a little bit. But she told me, she's like, you need to get really, really clear on your goals. Like, just get clear about what your goal is and what you're working towards. So I was trying to do that. So I was like, well, I've got a year at least to figure out what that might end up being. So along the way, I did figure that out. I was like, okay, this is the position that I want to be working towards. I didn't know the steps it was going to take to get there, but I was kind of figuring that out. But I was like, okay, this is where I'm trying to go professionally. So honestly, I just decided there was a position open in a division with some people that I was aware of through just some work across the state. And I was just like, well, that's the dream job. That is the job I'm working towards. So let's apply. Let's just see what happens. I remember being on the phone with one of my dear friends. I was in the parking lot about to walk in for the interview, and I'm like, there is no way they're going to hire me. Like, here are all of these reasons they're not going to hire me. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, it's not time. I'm not ready. I don't have these experiences yet because I haven't taken the full path that I thought my brain had laid out. Like, you have to X, Y, Z, all of these things. And she's like, you're crazy. Stop it. If they weren't going to hire you, why are they interviewing you? And I was like, I don't know, but they just are. I don't know, all of these things, but I shot my shot. I went for it and ended up landing the job, which was 2 hours away from our house.
Your husband was like,
Yep. It was one of those where I don't even think I had mentioned I applied till it got real serious with the interview, just because I was like, well, we're just going to practice applying. Like, this is what we're trying to work towards. Let's practice doing the application, right? So someone was like, oh, hey, by the way, I have this interview for this job, my dream job, that's 2 hours away. I was like, we don't have to figure anything out. We don't have to have a conversation. If we need to, we will. So, but we got the job, started the job, commuting 2 hours for a little bit. Then we made some pivots, but while we were trying to figure out moving, he completely transitioned his role to a working from home role for me to take this position and us to move. We moved, found our house, and it has been a crazy 2025, but just really kind of unapologetically saying, like, this is what I'm working towards. So I'm going to go for it. I'm going to shoot my shot. And he'd be so mad if he knew I shared this story. The house we got, I'm going to share it anyway, because I don't think he'll listen to this, but the house we got, he did not come look at it with me. I was the only one here, and it was just a random open house I decided to go to. And I was just, something just told me, I was like, no, like this is the house. Like this is the one. The pictures were really good online as well. So it wasn't like okay, well, I went and looked at it, and these Zillow pictures, they don't look anything like the house. It wasn't that case. I do feel like that was the case for the house we were selling, because I know what that looked like, and I saw the Zillow pictures, and I'm like,
yeah, I think you shared the sky photo with me, and
the photographer did amazing stuff. But yes, we did talk about it, because I told you, I was like, don't even worry. The magic they can do now, just don't worry about it. I was like, whose house is this? This is not the one I'm looking at right now, but this one really was. And it felt right. And I was like, we got to go for it. Like, this is the one. So it just really walking with purpose and moving forward with purpose and knowing this is where I'm meant to be, because everything is working out for me to be here. And here I am. So still adjusting to all of the things. So I still have boxes of the things I have, but things I don't need kind of stuff that I'm slowly unpacking.
I'm a horrible mover. It takes forever for me to unpack. So I feel you there. Lori, that gave my cheeks hurt. I got goosebumps. Like, yeah, it's truly incredible. Like, you just keep walking and stepping in faith and living unapologetically and follow. Like, the fact that your husband never even saw the house.
Not
Like,
in person.
and
Not till the day we closed.
like, there's other people at that open house, most likely. An open house, there's all sorts of people coming through in and out. And maybe there's multiple offers. I don't know. But like, your offer got it. Like, it was just like how it all like aligned was just like so meant to be.
Exactly. Everything you said, and just it all stemming from just having built that confidence in myself to just, you can go for it, because it's okay if it doesn't work out, because if it's meant to work out, it will. But like, you can go for it. Reach for the big scary things.
And figure it out later if you need to. You just need to take a moment and give your husband like huge props too, by the way. Like, for him to be like, all right, I'm gonna completely change what I'm doing and we're gonna move 2 hours away from what we know, and you better like this house because you're picking it. But good man right there, Lori.
It has all been meant to be. I'm a little terrified for what 2026 could hold in terms of just continuing to just live unapologetically. Not new careers, not new houses. Like, we're good there, but just really kind of supporting the direction he's going. Because actually, he's in school right now, which is one reason why the doctorate degree is not something in the cards for me at the moment. It's like, nope, he's in school right now. So I'm really looking forward to being on the support side and getting to cheer him on. Like, no, go for it. Like, I don't care if you say you're not qualified, just do it. Like, submit your application and go for it and reach for your dream job. So I'm really excited to kind of be that cheerleader in 2026.
That's exciting. And I love that. I love the different seasons. Now we're gonna transition into marriage. I love the different seasons in marriage. My son's 16. He's got a little girlfriend. We're talking about relationships and whatnot the other day, and I'm a big like. First off, like, I get to follow my husband all the time for different things. Like, he's not the person I met 10 years ago. He's a completely different person, but I've got to fall in love with each and every one of his stages. And then also the flows of our relationship, where it's like there's been times where he's had to support me with whatever I was working on, or I've supported him, whether that be financial or mental or space or whatever type of support they need. And it's just like, I feel like that is just such a solid foundation in a relationship. Because so many times I feel like you find that it's the woman constantly supporting her husband and his dreams and this and that, and that's where we get lost, right? And like, so having that balance of like, no, there's seasons where I'm the breadwinner, and there's seasons where you're the breadwinner, and like, that's okay. Like, we support each other. It just makes us better, right? Like, you get to encourage and be along for that journey, and it's just exciting.
Yeah. And that just different seasons of life is definitely the perfect way to put that.
Yes, it is for sure. I'm excited to see what's in store for you for 2026.
I'm always learning, always growing. Maybe the stage in 2026 for myself, who knows? I've learned to never say never, because I once said I will never go get that certificate. Never. Not gonna happen. Yeah, okay. Then it happened. Then all of this happened with, okay, great. Now you're in this job that you were working for and everything. Never say never, because that's the number one way it's gonna happen.
Yep, never say never. I just have to say that like the amount of things that even just today, and so I'm sure there's even more that you're like, I was like, no, I was gonna do it and I did it. It's just so like it's so empowering to hear your stories and how many times you're like, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna flake on myself. I'm gonna build that rapport and that trust and that belief, and I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna do it. And even though it wasn't always your health and fitness, it was every part of your life you've taken that viewpoint on. You're like, no, if I say I'm gonna do it, it's gonna happen. That's incredible. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Definitely.
So
Sometimes you gotta go small, sometimes you gotta go big.
hey,
Done a lot of big ones. Definitely need to rebuild some of the small ones right now, but I'm getting there.
it's a constant, right? You can't always chase the big ones, right? You gotta be able to sit and relax and enjoy them and work on the smaller ones in between, you know?
Exactly.
Men tend to be checkbox, like I got it, move on to the next. I'm like, no, just relax and enjoy it. That's what 2026 is gonna be about. Celebrating and
I
just
know.
being present.
Yep. And I love the kind of parallels is not exactly right, because the level is so different, but just that your story and that, even just having once been a lady boss, never would have you imagined at that time that you would be the lady boss.
Yes.
And yet here you are, because you went for it.
Yes. No, when you were telling your story with your degree and how you sat out for 3 years and how you knew it was this, but you weren't sure how it was gonna come to fruition, and then, like, it did come to fruition with the job you're in now, and you, like, skipped all these steps, like, I was like, "You're telling my story, but, like, a different version of it." Because
See,
I
and that's where I'm like, we are so much in sync in so many ways that I can't even describe it. You inspire me so much, which is how you walk through life because I see so much of it in myself too.
Laura, you inspire me too, and the ladies in the community inspire me. It's just when you're able to live this kind of life where you're just trusting every step you take that it's bigger than you, that it's possible. You get to live unapologetically. It's exciting. It's exhilarating. It's like, what's the right word I'm looking for? I don't even know.
It's worth it.
100% worth it. So worth it. And not just for like, I'm like selfish when like it's 100% worth it for you and it's great, but like all those around you get that benefit too.
Yeah. Yeah. You never know who's watching. And that's not in a negative way that tends to be used where it's like you never know who's watching, so be careful what you do. It's like, no, you never know who's watching because they see themselves in you and they see you doing the things and it helps them realize I can try it too. I can do it too. And you never know who's behind you that you're inspiring.
It's beautiful. So, Lori, I got one random question, okay? If someone is wanting to start looking at bodybuilding, and I mean, I know that like this is gonna be an all over question because like you could be like just starting your fitness journey, or you could be like further along. Like they're wanting to start bodybuilding. They're like, okay, I want to step on that stage one day. What is the first thing they must do, no matter where they're at in their journey, to start moving towards that goal?
I think that's a tough one with no matter where you are in your journey. I will say, check in with your water. A gallon of water a day is pretty much non-negotiable up to a point. And we're not talking about like, oh, well, close enough. No, there are some people that it's like there are sometimes where it's like, no, it's a gallon and a half because you're doing so much that you need to just keep things like moving and all of that stuff. So it's like check in with your water. If that's not quite there, that's a great starting place. That's kind of where I'm at in potentially building back to hitting the stage one day is like, all right, we're gonna get our water centered. But definitely research some shows and organizations around you. Some people, it's helpful to just kind of get a hard timeline in place, and then kind of going backwards from that, and then pivoting if they need to, or it's like, okay, well, we're not going to quite be ready for that show, so we can try another one. Don't do it alone. Totally find a coach and give it some time because you want to make sure that you find the coach that's right for you, not just the coach that definitely just knows their stuff because you're going to be working and communicating very closely and they're going to be needing to really fine tune your programming. Just you want to make sure that it's a coach you feel like you can fully trust and can go all in with. It's definitely a process where you got to play all in or it's going to show. And I mean it was just one small Oreo. Okay, it's going to show.
You'll learn real quick, huh? But I'm getting you had the Oreo
Yeah,
and you
it's
darn it.
Yeah, it's just like be ready to play all in. It, you don't necessarily have to be perfect all the time with it, but just having that coach that you can definitely feel like you can be honest with where it's like, you know what, I did have that bite of cheesecake. I did. That did happen. Be it just someone that you trust and can be transparent with. So find a coach, start researching honestly. A Google or Instagram search will kind of get you started in that right direction of finding people, but talk to other people, see who their coaches are, things like that. Word spreads the bodybuilding is a community for a reason and not just OCB and natural bodybuilding community, but that's one thing. But that's where you kind of want to research so you know what organization you're looking towards because there are different categories and different organizations and all kinds of things.
Thank you so much for sharing, Lori, and thank you so much for being here, for your courage and living life unapologetically and just chasing those dreams time and time again. Like it's just so empowering hearing your story and you sharing it. It reminds us that like it's never too late to chase our dreams and rewrite the narrative.
It definitely is never too late to do any of the things you think you might want to accomplish for sure.
So one final question. First off, ladies, if this is your first time hearing from Lori, go follow her. We'll put her social links on all the things in the show captions, but she's also an active member in the LadyBoss community. So go pop in, go follow her inside the community, know when she's going live and go see what she's got going on. Well, Lori, I've got to know. I try to ask everyone something similar, something like this. How are you living life unapologetically today?
I honestly today I said, you know what? I was off work today. So I said, we're going to make the most of today. We're not going to sit on the couch and just binge Netflix. So I'm going to do some things for me today. I'm going to do some things that I need to do that are going to make me feel good. Like I unpacked 2 of the unnecessary boxes today. And I'm very excited. So what I unapologetically did with purpose was I'm like, okay, so we've got this display cabinet in our dining room. So I have unpacked the boxes of that stuff and they are now like on display. And so now I can see that every day and remember today where it's like you weren't a couch potato. You set a goal and you did something with purpose today.
Love it. And you called me out because me and you both moved about the same time earlier this year. Like,
I know. I could not believe it. I was like, you are not moving away.
and I have a China, I don't know, it's like a display China hutch, but it's like a mini version. I've got like a China shelf and a gun cabinet, and all 3 of those, they don't even have the glass in them yet because I have not unpacked those things. So I have been called out. I'm going to put it on my list to put those together by the end of the week and feel like I've accomplished something. Unpack
Or at
those.
least just one of them. At least just one of them.
I can do one of them. The others might be far reaching, so I like that. Progress over perfection. I can do one. It's so funny. I can't believe you just are now doing yours, and I'm like, I've been staring at mine for like the last week. Like, I need to do it.
You'll feel so much better because I'm already like have looked at it today and just been like, I cannot wait to just see this throughout the month. And then I'm hosting Thanksgiving. So when the family comes, they're going to see that it's done. Those that have been up here before. And I'm just going to remember it's like, yes, I did something. I had a day off that I wasn't a full couch potato all day. That's usually the MO. Oh, a day off. I'm recuperating. I'm all the things.
It was like 2 weekends ago, we finally set up our living room. Like, we actually put our regular TV up. We hung up the pictures. Like, we had the couch and whatnot, but like, it wasn't like homey. We've been here for 6 months. We've been here since May, June, and I still didn't have my homey living. And like, I was like making dinner, and I just had this girl smile, and I kept telling my husband, I'm like, I feel like we're home. Like, we've only been here for 6 months, but like, look, like we put up one picture and look at like how homey it's so.
Do you know where your Christmas trees are going yet? That's the real challenge.
No, because my Christmas tree won't fit in this house.
Oh,
Yeah, so I'm gonna figure that out because we had vaulted ceilings at our other house. We don't have vaulted ceilings here, so I've got to figure that out. And so
or just buy a new tree.
that's probably what's gonna happen. But it's really
Or
sad.
just do that.
I had one of it was a glitter tree. It left glitter all over my house. My husband loved it. It was amazing cleanup. I'll miss it this year. All right. Well, thank you so much again, Lori, for being on. And ladies, I don't know about you, but the amount of chills in my cheeks smiling, I just love this. I've loved this conversation. Lori, you have such a beautiful heart. And thank you for sharing that transformation isn't about becoming someone else. That like, it's about uncovering the woman you've been created to be and stop waiting to start pulling the triggers, to start chasing those dreams and the confidence, the strength, the fire. It's
Yeah,
already
thank you so much for having me, for sure.
ladies, if you need permission to stop waiting and start showing up, like this is it. Like Lori's told you her story over and over again. Like how many things have like happened when she like just stopped waiting and started pulling triggers. If Lori's story like lit something inside of you, let that be the spark that moves you. Go. Don't let the fear keep you stuck. Let life keep you small. Live your best life, the life you deserve, the life you get to live unapologetically. Until next time, ladies.
I'm showing up as the woman I was created to be.
I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be real.
One woman's courage gives another permission. I'm done waiting for someday. My time is now. I'm walking in faith, not fear.
God's plan for me is bigger than my fear.
No more hiding who I am. This is the real me, and I'm not apologizing for her.
Thank you for tuning in to the Unapologetic podcast. If today's episode fired you up, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new one. And hey, leave a quick review, or sharing this with a friend helps us reach more women who need this message. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and keep living unapologetically. Thank you for tuning in to the Unapologetic podcast. If today's episode fired you up,
hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new one. And hey, leave a quick review, or sharing this with a friend helps us reach more women who need this message. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and keep living unapologetically.